Hello everybody, this is Mark Bird and I am teaching this course called Introduction to Philosophy, and I welcome you to the course. I am happy that you're part of it, and I welcome your interaction with me throughout the semester. So if you have any questions about the content or assignments, please let me know. But these series of mini lectures I am putting together just for you, and so I hope you find them beneficial to have me talk through some of the things that no doubt you'll see in quizzes and the final exam before it's all over. So this is an important class, actually, philosophy, because it deals with big questions and important questions. And so you'll hopefully see the value of the course before very long. So where does philosophy come from? What is it? How do we define it? Well, let's look at the root words for philosophy. One of the words is philia, which means love, okay? Love, and the other one is Sophia. So philia and Sophia, love and wisdom. Sophia means wisdom. So you could say quite literally that philosophy is the love of wisdom. Now, it's not just the love of wisdom. It's not just because you love wisdom doesn't mean you're a philosopher, but really loving wisdom should lead you to pursue wisdom. So some have defined philosophy as the pursuit of wisdom. And a textbook definition is the attempt to think rationally and critically about the most important questions. Questions such as, where did I come from? Why am I here? Where am I going? Or what is real? What is true? What is right? What is good? I mean, these are big questions, and there are a lot of smaller questions within those general questions. So you need to know how to answer those questions, but you also need to know how other worldviews answer those questions. So we'll be intersecting with other worldview positions. So why should we study philosophy? Well, one thing you could say, it will help you to think critically, clearly, and correctly about reality. Of course, if studied from a Christian perspective, studying from a godly perspective. Now, on the quiz, I'm going to be asking you, why should we study philosophy? This is one of the answers, not all three in one, because I have a couple more reasons why you should study philosophy. Think about how philosophy helps you do systematic theology. Because with philosophy, you learn the laws of logic, right? So how do you do systematic theology, and really how do you think at all without logic, okay? And think about even the doctrine of the Trinity, okay? Is that directly laid out in Scripture, the doctrine per se? Well, not really. You have to draw inferences, and that's a philosophical kind of thing to do, to draw inferences, make conclusions, reason toward a conclusion. So you really couldn't do systematic theology without philosophy in some way. And apologetics, because in apologetics, you are constructing positive arguments for Christianity, and you are also deconstructing, you could say, bad arguments. Arguments against Christianity. So you use philosophy in refuting bad worldviews. And you could say that it's used in polemics, philosophy is. Because with polemics, you are arguing against heresies within Christianity, and you need to use reason and some ways philosophical argumentation in order to refute those bad ideas. And it also helps communication between those who have differing worldviews. Knowing philosophy will help you understand how other people think, atheists think, or Buddhists think about their worldview, and how they answer the questions different than you answer those questions. It's going to help you understand those differing worldviews. All right, let's move to fields of philosophy, the general areas of philosophy. There are 4 main areas of philosophy. One is metaphysics, which is the study of the nature of reality. So you need to know that term, metaphysics. And then epistemology, which is the study of the nature of knowledge. Okay, so say epistemological, that's a kind of question you might ask somebody. So what is true is an epistemological question, because it has to do with the study of the nature of knowledge. And then axiology, which is the study of the nature of value. And within that broad area, you have ethics, which is the study of values in the realm of morality, and aesthetics, which is the study of values in the realm of beauty and art. So with axiology being the study of value, you think, okay, so the question is, basic question is, what is good? What is good? And ethics has to do with the question, what is right? And aesthetics has to do with the question, what is beautiful? Let's go back to the top there. Metaphysics, the question there, what do you think the question there is? What is real? And what do you think the basic question for epistemology is? What is true? And what is the right way to pursue knowledge? How can we know anything? Lots of different questions that go with each of these categories, and we'll be working in most of these categories as we go through and pick up some of the major philosophers and their emphases in these different areas of philosophy. And then the final area of philosophy is logic, which is the study of principles of right reasoning. So we think about logic, we think about the laws of thought, inductive reasoning, deductive reasoning, and so we'll get into that in the next section. All right, so metaphysics, epistemology, axiology, and logic, and then under axiology you have ethics and aesthetics. And look at what that spells. Look at what the main points spell. MEAL, meal. Okay, so maybe you can remember these 4 fields of philosophy with the acrostic MEAL. Metaphysics, epistemology, axiology, and logic. Know the definitions, understand some questions that go with each of those areas, and you'll be ready to answer, do a test or a quiz on those categories. All right, let me close here with a few observations concerning the nature of philosophy. One is, and you've already kind of picked this up, I think, we're all philosophers, right? You can't get away with it from being a philosopher, because we all grapple with big questions. Now, I know lots of people don't really want to think about the questions, like where did I come from, why am I here, where am I going? They kind of put them out of their mind because they're confused about the nature of truth. They don't even know if they could ever even discover any kind of information about those questions. And I try to give people hope, encourage people to pursue the truth, to pursue this kind of wisdom. But really, we're all philosophers because we all try to answer these questions in some way, or we assume certain answers to these questions. And so we're thinking, we're basing a lot of our beliefs on some basic assumptions that are philosophical assumptions, And so in some ways we are all philosophers. And another basic observation is that these questions are the most basic and important questions. And that's why I'm passionate about this course, because they are big questions. They are important questions. And I've been over to the university. I've asked lots of philosophical questions over at the University of Cincinnati. And I remember one time I approached somebody and I asked them, so how would you answer the 3 great philosophical questions of life? Where did I come from? Why am I here? Where am I going? And the guy said, well, those are religious questions, aren't they? And I said, well, actually, they're philosophical questions. Now, religion tries to answer these questions, and of course, we know that Christianity gives the correct answers to those questions. But they're philosophical questions that many different worldviews try to answer, and they're very basic and they're very important questions. And then my last observation here is that philosophy, more than other disciplines, is distinguished by its interest in evidence, argument, criticism, its use of reason. So think about the importance of philosophy because of that, all right? So a few observations concerning the nature of philosophy, just a brief introduction that I've given here, and we'll get into the laws of logic and some logical principles of right reasoning next time we give a little talk.